Harjot Kang and welcome to indiabase.ca. Today we're going to be making a really simple and healthy dish called Palak Paneer, or spinach with Indian cheese, and we're going to be making it using India base. Again, this one jar creates hundreds of super simple and easy Indian dishes. So here are the ingredients you'll need to make this wonderful Palak Paneer dish. So this dish is 100% vegetarian, but you can make it vegan by substituting the paneer, the cheese, with firm tofu instead. So what you'll need is 1 bunch of cilantro and 2 bunches of spinach. We've just cut the stems off, about ½ an inch of each of them. You'll need 1 cup of paneer. This is store-bought paneer that you can find at any ethnic food shop. And paneer is basically made from the curds of milk that's been separated using lemon juice. And once you leave it firm, this is what you get. And you cut it into cubes, or you can cut it into triangles like we've done here. So this is about 1 cup of paneer. Here, one of my favorite ingredients next to butter is 1 whole head of garlic that we've just roughly chopped. It's just a fine chop. We haven't pureed it or anything. So we like to leave it whole so you get that real garlicky taste to it. Of course, you'll need 1 whole jar of India base. Again, this base has everything you need to start your Indian dish. It's made of onions, roasted garlic, ginger, all of the spices that you need, taking the guesswork out of making Indian food from scratch easy. 1 tablespoon of cumin, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, a whole jalapeno pepper. Again, if you don't want it as spicy, you don't need to worry about adding that in, and a pinch of salt to taste. So the first step to making this paneer dish is you're going to take a big pot. We filled it halfway with water, which we haven't salted, so you don't need to add some salt. We're going to bring it to a boil. Once that comes to a boil, we're going to throw in our cilantro and our spinach. We just want to wilt it in there for about a minute. Basically, we're going to shock the vegetables because we want to keep that really nice green color. Once it's wilted for a minute in the boiling water, we're actually going to puree it in our blender for about a minute till it becomes super smooth. So you can see that the water is coming to a boil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in all of the cilantro. And again, we've kept the stems on because we are going to puree it. So just cut off those little bits at the end that you don't really need. Same with the spinach. Again, we've washed this. Don't worry about pat drying it. You can leave a little bit of the excess liquid on there. It's not a problem. So we're just going to throw all of this in because the water should be nice and warm at this point. So you need a really big pot because you want to fit in all of that spinach and press it down. So once that's all in there, just going to put all of this in there. So just be very careful because the water is hot right now. So we're just going to press it down. And once that comes to a boil, like I said, we're just going to boil it for about a minute till it wilts. And then we're going to take it out and put it directly into the blender to blend for about 1 minute till it's really nice and smooth. So the spinach has been boiling in the water for, the spinach and the cilantro, sorry, have been boiling in the water for about a minute. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my strainer, my slotted spoon, and I'm just going to add it to the blender because we're going to blend it for about 1 minute. Try not to get too much of the excess water from the pot into the blender. So we finished blending or pureeing our spinach and cilantro mixture. Notice the bright green color that you get after you've blended it. Now the reason for that actually is once you cover the spinach at any time during the cooking process, the gases that are usually emitted from the spinach stay in the pot and they create that really dark green color. If you cook it uncovered, the gases escape and the color actually becomes a little bit lighter of the spinach. Now, before I even blended the spinach and the cilantro in the blender, I noticed there's actually quite a bit of excess water in the bottom. So I drained that before I blended it because you don't want it to be too watery. So this is the perfect consistency and smoothness that you want for the spinach. Get a nice shot of that. So, in our pan, the next step to blending this all together, I've added 1 tablespoon of olive oil and 1 tablespoon of cumin seeds. So the pan is on medium right now. It's nice and hot. I can hear the cumin sizzling. So I'm going to add in our whole head of garlic. So the pan is nice and hot. We're going to brown the garlic just a little bit, so we're going to cook it for probably a minute or two. The garlic's going to cook pretty fast here, so I want to keep stirring it. You can smell that garlic as soon as it hits the pan. One of the best smells in the world. I'm going to add in my whole chili. Again, you don't need to add this in if you don't want it that spicy. I actually tried this chili before I cut it up, this jalapeno before I cut it up, and it's actually the perfect amount of heat that I like. So I'm going to leave the whole jalapeno in there and just mix it around. I'm going to take my whole jar of India base. Again, this has, look at the color in that. So we already added our turmeric, we've got all our spices in there, the garlic, the ginger, the onions, everything's in there. It kind of makes a nice little paste to add to any Indian dish. So I'm going to add the whole jar. And we just really want to warm the Indian base through with the garlic and the chili and the cumin. So that's going to warm through for about a minute. I'm also going to add a pinch of salt to taste. Now, at this point, you can add black salt is a really great substitution if you've ever cooked with that. It adds a certain kind of a different distinct flavor to it, as well as nutmeg, which I actually don't have on me today, which is totally fine. So if you do have it, throw that in there and let us know how it tastes, because it does, you will notice a distinct difference in the flavor once you add that in. So our mixture of onions, the India base, the chilies, the cumin, and the garlic have been cooking now for about 2 minutes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in our pureed cilantro and spinach. Look at that great green color that you get. Amazing. And the smell is fantastic too. It looks absolutely delicious. I'm going to throw that all in there, mix it around. Again, this dish will serve at least 4 people, if not more. Fantastic with just some yogurt too, actually. You could add in there, if you want to make it a little bit more creamy, you can just add yogurt into it as well. So I'm going to let that cook down a little bit, and still on medium heat, I'm going to add in our chunks of paneer. Now, a lot of people fry the paneer to get a really nice crispy brown flavoring on the outside, but we're actually going to just leave it the way it is. So it's going to just really warm through and become really kind of soft. Don't want to add too much color to the paneer. So I'm going to mix that through. And I'm going to cover, I'm actually not going to cover this, sorry. I want to preserve this really nice, natural, bright green color. So I'm not going to cover it. I'm going to let it cook for 5 minutes uncovered on medium-low heat. But again, if you just try it, if you put the lid on it, you're going to notice instantly the change in the color of the spinach and the cilantro. But like I said, we want to leave this type of really nice bright green color, so I'm going to leave it uncovered to cook for 5 minutes. So this has been cooking now for about 3 minutes. I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. The reason for adding the lemon juice at the very end is because it helps with actually digesting any type of green leafy vegetables. Lemon juice definitely helps with the digestion. I'm going to mix that through, cook it for another 2 minutes, and then we're good to go. So there you have a super easy, healthy spinach dish using the paneer. And of course, you always have to try your food. Let's have a quick taste here. Tastes awesome. Who knew spinach could taste this good? So thank you so much for watching. Again, leave your feedback, any comments, any suggestions that you have. We'll see you at the farmers markets, and happy eating.